Start now. Good evening. Assalamu alaikum. كل الشباب. This webinar will be mostly conducted in English, but feel free to speak in Arabic, English, whatever you feel comfortable with. But mostly it will be conducted in English, and I'm happy to see many of you again. Dr. Hadir Musa. I'm from the Center for Occupation and Environmental Health Africa, and this webinar is an unofficial chit chat. After the last webinars that we conducted, there is some requests came from many of our colleagues that they need some support with passing the LFOM and MFOM exams. So the Center for Occupation and Environmental Health Africa and Mustaqbal Center decided on embarking on a preparatory course for the 2 exams. And this webinar is basically giving you some information about the exams themselves and the course. Don't feel pressured and feel relaxed. Just as I said earlier, it's an unofficial meeting just to answer your questions and to give you some guidance toward like having the exam and the requirements of the exam, and also the structure of the course that we're planning to embark on to help you pass your exam. With me, there is Dr. Umar, there is Mr. Khalid, Dr. Mu'tasim, and Dr. Muhammad. Those will be like taking us through the journey of like what do we need to have like to be an occupational physician, and the structure of the exam itself and what is expected from you, and also the structure of the course itself and all the logistics of it. So happy to see you all here. I'm going to introduce each faculty member a little bit. Dr. Umar, I don't know, many of you already know him. He's a veteran in the field, and like he trained a lot of like occupational physician in Africa, mostly in the Middle East, and also now in Europe. So Mu'tasim and Muhammad as well. They are passionate trainers, and they share a lot of similarities with many of you here. They started like if you were there in the last couple of webinars, they gave a lot of their background and why they chose occupational medicine and how they moved from A to Z to having like not just a career in occupational medicine, but also being like examiners and even ambassadors for the profession. So I'm so happy to see both of them here, as well as Dr. Umar, as well as Ustaz Khalid. He's from the Future Training Center. They have a lot of courses. They are in the, as I said earlier, I did not say that actually, but like Kuiha is always like forging partnerships. We don't do anything by ourselves. We always work with partners. And Future Center, we had like collaboration with, and they are in Saudi Arabia. And they have a lot of programs, and they are interested in occupational medicine, and we think there is a lot we can do together. So he will take us in into how we're gonna do the course together. So I'm gonna start with Dr. Umar. He will set the scene for the webinar, and then Dr. Mu'tasim. He's the champion of this course. Thank you all.
Thank you, Hadir. Thank you very, very much. I thought Mu'tasim will start first to tell people about the exam itself and what is required of them, and I will probably, if it probably makes sense, I speak after Mu'tasim, if you don't mind.
Sure, Dr. Omar. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. The weekend, I know everybody's busy, but we really appreciate your time. We are not going to repeat what we said last webinar about the occupational medicine as a specialty, and it is important and the potential of it. So today we're gonna move forward about the exams and what is all this about to prepare you for a career in occupational medicine and a qualification in occupational medicine. I think from what we have said last time, occupational medicine in many regions is not a distinct specialty. It is part of other specialties, either community medicine, preventive medicine. So you cannot claim you are an occupational physician unless you have some kind of qualifications in occupational medicine. So if you're interested in qualifications in occupational medicine, so this webinar will take you step by step and to get that qualifications. So I will try to answer 10 questions here. The first one, what is licentiate of the Faculty of Occupational Medicine? And what is the membership of SAM? And what is the difference between the two qualifications? And how you can apply for these qualifications? And when can you apply? And where can you take the exam? And the cost of the exams? And the component of each exam. What are the components of each certificate or qualifications? And the duration, during how long you need to finish your requirements to qualify for this requirement. I will start with the first qualifications, which is highly recommended to do first, which is the licentiate in the Faculty of Occupational Medicine. The licentiate is a qualifications that proves you can apply the basic knowledge of occupational medicine. The basic knowledge of occupational medicine. While the membership, it proves that you can apply the advanced knowledge of occupational medicine in your work practice. So that is the difference. The licentiate is a basic knowledge, but you can still claim you are an occupational physician. It's not something easy. If you get the licentiate, you should really be very proud of yourself. We'll see in a minute how it is hard to get it. You need a lot of work. It is an internationally recognized qualification. Both of them, the licentiate and the membership, they are both internationally recognized qualifications, and it meets the benchmarks, and it is recognized by the Irish Medical Council and also other reputable medical councils all over the world. So that is the beginning. The licentiate is the basic knowledge, and the membership is the advanced knowledge. That's the difference between them. Who can apply? Any doctor who is registered in any jurisdiction. So you have to be a medical doctor. This is not for non-doctors. So you have to be a medical doctor. You have to make this very clear. Okay, this is number one. Number two, you have to be registered physician in the area where you practice, in Saudi Arabia, in Nigeria, in Ghana, Australia, Sudan, UAE, wherever you are. So you need to have at least 2 years after your graduation of being like a general practitioner. So you need like two years. So then you have to apply during certain time. There will be an opening for the applicants to apply for each exam. So you apply during that time, not before, not after. If you apply before, your application will not be considered. If you apply after, your application will not be considered. That's common sense, like any other exams in the Royal College. So you have to apply during the time frame when they open the application. And you have to submit the documents required to prove that you are a medical doctor, that you're a registered medical practitioner, and you have to testify these documents in a certain way. You have to do it either by a commissioner of oath or by a guarda. So this will be provided in detail. We'll share a document with you about the regulations of the licentiate and the regulations of the membership. And the good news, there is good change that will be effective from September 2024. I think this change will be for the benefit of the applicant. So in summary, who can apply? A medical doctor who has a qualification that is recognized and who is registered. You have to be registered in an area, in a country, medical council, so that you're practicing in that country for at least 2 years. And this will be verified before they give you approval to enter the exam. They will verify your credentials, and then they will send you a confirmation that they received your credentials and it has been verified. And the good news, you have been allocated a place in the exam. So where you can take the exam, that is very good news. Believe it or not, you can take it at home. You can take it at home remotely. You don't have to travel. That's one of the, if I don't want to say the good things about COVID. The world will never be like before COVID. So you can do the exam at home via what they call it remote invigilation. So there is a company that provides the logistics for this service. So you will take it at home. It will be registered via video. You need to have a laptop or a PC that meets certain requirements. They will send it to you. You will go through the requirement, and if your device meets the requirements, then you're qualified. You might need to present your passport, and they will check your environment, and this exam will be recorded. While you are taking the exam, it will be recorded, video and audio. So that will save you a lot of money, especially for us coming from Africa or Middle East. Imagine the money you will spend in airline tickets and hotels and accommodation and all this. Basically, this money you spend in these logistics will help you to pay for the exam fee. And talking about the cost of the exam, it varies. Each exam has a different cost. The MCQs has a cost, and the OSPI has a cost, and these costs are not in the regulations. They will be announced year by year. The faculty will decide the cost of the exam every year, but it's reasonably between 500 euro to 700 or 800 euro. For a reason, the international used to pay more because they need to come here and they need to have, there was a center in UAE and center in Malaysia, but now with this new technology, I think you'll take it at home. The payment are almost equal for all candidates. So the answer to the question, where you can take the exam, you can take it from home. And the cost will be announced by the faculty. If I can share my screen, Hadir, just I want to show something here. Okay. Okay, so I will start with the LFOM. Do you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the LFOM, the licentiate of the Faculty of Occupational Medicine. It has 3 components. The first component, which is the written exam. The written exam is the MCQs, a single best answer. You will have a paper of 100 questions of single best answer. They are all related to different topics of the syllabus. And this will be also provided to you. Copy from the regulations will be provided to you. So the first thing you need to do is to take care of the written exam. This has been changed, by the way. They used to do the portfolio first, but now they do the MCQs first. The reason for this is even from my experience, the written exam is kind of harder a little bit than the portfolio. So they want to make sure you have taken care of your first paper, which is the MCQs, before you can submit your portfolio. So you will do the first exam from home, which is an MCQs online, 100 questions, single best answer. There is no tricks, there is no hidden agenda, straightforward, 100 questions. And the pass mark, I think it varies. Last year, about 62. It used to be 50, but I think they are increasing this every year based on the performance of the candidates. So that is the first part of the LFOM, is to take care of the MCQ, and it's usually in January. This exam is one time per year. The paper of the MCQs once a year. Even for the MFOM, we'll talk about the MFOM in a minute, but it is one time a year. It's not open more than one time. So hopefully when you pass the written exam, the MCQs, single best answer, and you passed it, you will receive a letter that you passed the exam. Then you will go to the next part, which is the portfolio. The portfolio is you write 5 cases. There is examples will be given to you on how to write these cases. But in summary, these cases theoretically should be occupational cases that you managed. One of these cases, at least one should be an injury. At least should be an injury. And by injury, could be a back injury, it could be a finger injury, it could be any injury that you managed, you need to write about it. So, and the other cases, at least one should be a work site visit. Work site visit. So 5 cases, at least one will be an injury, and the second will be work site visit. By work site visit, this will be included in our course, how to conduct a site visit and how to write a report or a portfolio about a site visit, about your findings when you visit a place, the hazards, and you observed during your tour or your walk, what type of hazards, and what are your recommendations to take care of these hazards, and so on. So there will be an example and a template for you to write the portfolio. And the other 3 cases will be 3 cases of your choice. So I will repeat this: 5 cases, at least 1 case is an injury, 1 case is a worksite visit, and other 3 cases of your choice. And then you will submit the 5 cases as in separate cases in one document. You will submit it. You need to sign a declaration that this is your work. Okay, that declaration is also will be provided to you. And then you submit soft copy to the faculty of occupational medicine of the RCBI, the Royal College of Physicians of Ireland. And then it will be graded and you will receive your result. If you pass the portfolio, then there will be another part of it, which is a viva. The viva is part of the portfolio. You can't pass the portfolio unless you pass the viva. That's why you see there is a link between the portfolio and the viva. But the viva is a separate exam. What is the viva? The viva, you will be interviewed online, like what we are here now. You will speak to 2 examiners. They will pick up 2 of your cases. Most likely one of them will be the worksite visit and any other case. And then they will ask you about it. They will not ask technical questions. The purpose of the viva is to make sure that is your work. The work is done by you. Okay? They might ask some other questions. And if they are happy that these are the cases you managed and your knowledge overall is good, and then you will pass the viva. And if you pass the viva, then you pass the portfolio, and then you pass all the components of the licentiate, and then you will receive a congratulation letter that you passed all the requirements, and you will be invited to attend the ceremony in the Royal College, usually in the second week of November. And then you will be awarded the degree, and that will be your first step to claim that you are an occupational physician. That is, in summary, what is the licentiate. We highly recommend you start with the licentiate. You can still do concurrently, you can do the licentiate and the membership together in one time, but that is extremely difficult, but it's not impossible. Okay, so that is in summary what is the component of the licentiate. There is a new change, which is good. I was reviewing the regulations today. Effective September 2024, you can do this exam within 6 years. For example, if you passed the MCQs, the written exam, in September 2024, you will have 6 years to finish. If anything happens a year or two, you cannot apply for the exam, but within 6 years, you have to finish all the requirements. That is good, because it was only 3 years before. It was only 3 years, but now they're giving more time. So that is something to consider. Okay, and if you have any questions during the process of applying your documents and everything, you can write your queries to exams@rcbi.ie. exams@rcbi.ie. Okay, so I will, without any delay, I will move forward to the components of the MFOM. So hopefully this is clear. 3 components, then you will take care of the LFOM. The second part is the membership. Okay, remember at the beginning, I said the licentiate is the basic knowledge and the membership is the advanced knowledge. So the expectations here are higher, because the membership is really a step to be a specialist. And if you are a specialist, you can practice independently. You don't need to practice under supervision. So the membership is your first step to be a specialist. So there is the components are similar, but there is additional components. The first one is the written exam. There will be another 100 questions, MCQs, a single best answer. You have to do that first as well. That is also always in January. If you pass the single best answer, the 100 questions, then you can apply for the portfolio. You will not be allowed to apply for the portfolio unless you pass the MCQs. The same thing applies to the licentiate. So after you pass your written exam, then you will submit your 10 cases of portfolio. And the requirement for the 10 cases are different here. You have to do 5 clinical cases. And from the 5 clinical cases, at least one should be an injury. The same thing as in the licentiate. Then you have other 5, they call it projects. So 5 clinical cases, at least one injury. The other 5 cases, at least 2 will be site visits. Remember, in the licentiate, you had 1 site visit. Here, you need 2 site visits. And the other 3 projects will be projects of your choice, like a plan you implemented in your workplace, a review of a policy. They will give you guidance, but it's going to be 3 of your choices. As you know, there is a lot of overlap between occupational medicine and other specialties, and you can benefit from the work you do to prepare these projects. I'm very sure most of you are doing some type of projects, and you can avail your knowledge and experience and tailor these projects to the need of the exam. So, but notice here also there is a Viva, portfolio and Viva. If you take this and, you can say these are 6 components: the written exam, the portfolio, the Viva, So you cannot pass the portfolio unless you pass the Viva. And the Viva is the same thing. You will have a remote exam, and you will be examined about 2 of your cases. Most likely one of them will be site visit. If they are happy with everything, then you will pass the portfolio. And the written exam is submitted, is conducted from home. There's no difference. You'll do it at home. The portfolio, you will do it at your work, and you will submit it electronically. But for this part, the OSPI, you need to come to Dublin. You need to come to Dublin. And at least now, until proven otherwise, there might be some other centers in the future. There was a center in UAE and in Malaysia, and there's been talking about a center also in Philippines. Anyway, you need to come to Dublin for the OSPI, which is 8 stations. The 8 stations could be manned or unmanned. By unmanned means there will be stations about interpretation of a report, like audiometry, spirometry, whatever. You will get into details later about this. And some other stations, you will be given a scenario and you will be asked to either take a history or perform a clinical examination like any other membership exam. So that is the clinical part of it. That is the clinical part of it. So we'll talk about it in details in the future, but it is one of the components of the exam. Another component is report writing. You remember we mentioned in the previous webinar that one of the major differences between occupational medicine and general practice is that the occupational physician is not a GP. We don't see people for the sake of seeing them. We see people to write a report. The most important thing is to write a report. If there is no report, there's no occupational medicine. You have to write a report after each consultation. Okay? So you will be trained. Part of this syllabus of this course is to train you on how to write a report to management. Okay? We can't discuss everything now. Just I want to give you an idea that writing a report to management is part of the components of the membership exam. And that is 30 minutes. And the critical appraisal is also another component. If you are familiar with this, you will be given a study from reputable journals, and you will be asked questions about the methodology of the paper, the research conducted, and questions like the type of the study, what was the exposure, what was the outcome, and is this study design is appropriate to this, and so on. So they call it the critical appraisal. So this is 9 components. These exams, the OSPI and the report writing and critical appraisal, you need to come to Dublin, and they will be conducted. This one will be conducted in a hospital. You see real patients, and the report writing and critical appraisal could be in the Royal College or in the same place in the hospital. So that is in summary about the exams. What are the exams, components of LFOM, MFOM, and the difference between them, and why you can apply, duration, and everything. And as I said, if you have any questions, always write to exams@rcbi.ie. I think more details will come about this during the course of this webinar. And if you have any questions, I'm very happy to answer your questions at the end. Dr. Omar.
Dr. Muhtasem, thank you very much, as usual, on time and very precise and very informative.
Thank you. I will start sharing my screen now.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Dr. Omar will follow, but before Dr. Omar, it's just we keep receiving. You can write your questions, and we're gonna start answering the questions after Dr. Omar and Mr. Khalid. So prepare your questions, and Dr. Omar now will tell us a little bit about the structure of the course and why the course is set in this way. Thank you. تفضل Dr. Omar.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Shadir. And thank you very, very much, Mu'tasim. I think Mu'tasim has laid the grounds very, very well for my talk. And thank you all for being here this evening. As Hadir said at the start of this webinar, this is a sort of a continuation to the talk we had on career path on occupational medicine. Looking at this, as Mu'tasim has said, occupational medicine is gaining a lot of grounds in our regions, in Africa and in the Middle East. There are huge needs for it, and there are huge needs for appropriately accredited occupational physicians. I'm going to talk briefly about the structure of the course, how and why we developed it, and where we want to take people with it. Two things we took into consideration. Firstly, probably the majority of you here, well, first, you are here by invitation and knowledge. The people who joined the first webinar and they said they really wanted to consider a career in occupational medicine, and some of you, and I see some of the names I have associated with for years, and I'm really, really happy they are here. So two things. Most of you are probably not working in an occupational health setting. So this is one thing we have taken into consideration in developing the course. The second part, which is even very, very important, and from the experience, I see Nazar is here, and some of the colleagues from Muscat, I see Muay is here. It is not, anyone can pass the exam. You don't need to be a genius to pass an exam. It is important to pass the exam, but it is important you actually be proficient in what you do. And this is what we have designed the course to do. I am absolutely delighted to have, two wonderful people, or probably three wonderful people as, tutors with me on the course. Mu'tasim, who spoke, Hadir and Mu'tasim spoke, he's a very modest chap. Mu'tasim was a board member of the Faculty of Occupational Medicine. Muhammad is a current examiner. Hadir has got an MSc degree in epidemiology and statistics. So, when Mu'tasim talked about critical appraisal, that is what she does. And as I said in one of the talks before, epidemiology is a very important part of occupational medicine. As Hadir said, this is really, really informal. We really are here to give you an idea and to support you. Whichever way you decide, we will support you. The course, we've designed the course in such a way that it caters for the needs of the two exams. Mu'tasim is encouraging people to actually go for the LFOM first, and it does make sense. If you look at the structure of the two exams, they really are one continuum, and they're basically two parts. You can do the two parts together if you feel confident enough, and and if you got the time and you're willing to do that. But the important thing is what we want to do is to give you sufficient knowledge and experience, so that you can tackle whichever part of the exam you want to do. Let me find a presentation and share my screen with you. Yeah. Let me share my screen. Right, I think it is here now towards professional degree in occupational medicine, the LFOM and MFOM examination course. I'll leave it, maybe I put it, I'll leave it as it is and just continue with that. Okay. So this is, you know, the content of the course has taken us quite some time to develop. Mu'tasim, Muhammad, other colleagues, and we, you know, we looked at all of this and we thought how best we can support, you know, the people who are going to, you know, go for exams in January next year. So we have decided two things. Firstly, the interest we had from, you know, the original webinar, I think, I don't know whether Hadir mentioned that, was about 80 people were interested in a career in occupational medicine. There are only a limited number of us. So we thought to give people the maximum benefit, we're going to admit only 30 as the first cohort. And I really am very sorry about this, but we're not going to say to someone, yes, we have got some very clear admission criteria to, you know, and if we, you know, if you apply and we say, no, we're not going to say you've been rejected. We say, right, we think you probably are not ready to go for the exam in January. We suggest you do it next year. And we will continue to support you all through the time until next year. Okay, so this is the first step. So we'll talk about the syllabus, the tutorials and workshops, tutor groups, the reading materials, the portfolio support, and an intensive examination instructions week. So the syllabus I will share with you at the end of this short presentation, the syllabus of the course. It covers the full spectrum of the competency expected from an accredited occupational physician. So actually, it covers the syllabus for both the LFOM and the MFOM. So it is a really huge syllabus. It draws from different sources of knowledge. Most of it would be from the tutor's experience. And as I said earlier, one of the things we discussed is that, unfortunately, Muhammad doesn't seem to be here. Muhammad is an examiner, you know, in the MFOM, and he said in the last 2 years in their auditing of the results, they noticed that people who took the exams from our parts of the world, you know, the rate of pass was lower than the usual. Initially, they thought, the faculty thought it could be a language problem, but you know, they came to a conclusion that it is a practice problem. So we're going to draw a lot on the our tutors' experience. What, you know, how do you actually handle a real case? It's not difficult at all to sit down and read about lead poisoning, for example, and know all the levels, and read about, you know, health surveillance for noise or whatever. But how do you actually design a program? How do you actually conduct it? Report writing, all of these, you know, important things. So as I said, the course will cover the requirements for the 2 exams, and the first cohort, unfortunately, is going to be pressed really, really, really hard. I think I've got a teacher in me. I believe Mu'tasim and Muhammad are likely so, and you would probably see a lot of this going back to a sort of a school teaching rather than a hands-off lecture and talk and you go away. What we have thought would be appropriate for the purpose of this course is, instead of doing a lecture or just talking, we decided we're going to structure it in doing 2 Saturdays each month between now and January. One Saturday, would be for lectures and presentations. The other Saturday would be mostly for practical aspects, tutorials, report writing, multiple choice questions exam, whatever is needed. The most important thing for us is, how do you actually visualize occupational health? How do you actually provide? Because to be an accredited occupational physician, you need to know how to deliver occupational health services. So the workshops will cover the whole aspect of the service provision, right from the needs assessment. If you go to a company and they say to you, right, doctor, we want you to design an occupational health program for us. So how do you do a needs assessment for that program? Okay, how do you design the program? Who would be involved? And then how you actually deliver the service, the models of delivery, the people you interact with, the stakeholders, your duty or duties of care, towards various people within that. And as Mu'tasim said earlier, report writing. Occupational physicians do not operate on people. They do not give people injections or medications. They write reports. And you are as good as an occupational physician, obviously, as your occupational health report. And the ethical and legal consideration you have to consider. From the 30 students are going to be divided between the 3 tutors. So each one of us will have 10 students, and this would be the tutor groups. The tutor will be available for one-to-one advice and one-to-one follow-up for each student. For absolutely, right from, the studying, the hours of studying, questions, whatever, and you will have more information on this, and addressing any concerns. So one of the real big issues here is occupational health is not well known, and I think in my talk in the career path for occupational medicine, I spoke about when I first came to Abu Dhabi, and had then didn't know whether I was a doctor or an engineer, because their thought was occupational health is an engineer thing. So what are you doing here with HAD? And so the knowledge is really, really limited. We're going to suggest some textbooks. As I said, the course draws on various resources, lots of resources, and most of it, to be honest with you, is going to be the knowledge of our tutors. So we will suggest textbooks. I probably suggested some to most of you here, or many of you, and Yeah, that would be one. There would be websites, there would be journals. There are industry and organization circulars, which are very important. And then there would be the course materials themselves. Before each Saturday, you will have some stuff that no one is going to sit down and lecture you. You will have the material, and you will be expected to do some work before the delivery. Right. The portfolio is a very important part here, and it really is a huge problem for candidates in our region. For one simple reason, because most of you probably are not working in an occupational health setting. And the important thing is, I'm not going to talk about, specific cases or whatever, or the structure of it, but, if you assume you are a family physician or a GP sitting in a clinic, someone comes to you with a back problem, we will show you, right, this could be a portfolio case. The individual you saw, and you gave them, the muscle relaxants and a full bag of medications or whatever. You just need to extend that a little bit and look into their work. What do you actually do? And even if you are not asked by his employer, you can just say, right, well, I'll talk to you about work. And I would suggest this happens, and you can actually write to the employer, So there would be lots of personal instructions on how you actually choose cases. And Mu'tasim talked about an experience they had. I think those of you who did the exams here, we did this together for a very long time. You will sit down at home, you've seen the cases, you write them up, you bring them to the tutor, he looks at that, he says, right, this is good, this is not so good, you do this, you do that, returns it to you with the comments, you improve on it. And then when the tutor is happy with it, he says to you, yeah, this is ready for submission. When the tutor says this is ready for submission, this does not mean that it is going to pass. This is very important because, well, at least I'm not an examiner. But it is very unlikely that it will not pass if one of your tutors say that is good, that is good. So it is your full responsibility to actually write the whole thing up. Your tutor will help you with selecting, the cases, how you write the referencing, and the workplace visits and assessments and report writing on them. This is an integral part of the course. Decided not to move for a reason, Hadir.
It's working, Doctor.
Is it okay?
Yeah, we can see, but
Decided not to move, but let me try to do that. So the last part of the course, we're going to do a full 3 days face-to-face intense exam preparation course here in Abu Dhabi. There would basically be 2 different groups, one for the LFOM and one for the FOM. Both groups will have lectures and presentations. We will arrange workplace visits. We will arrange for people to see or conduct practical occupational health procedures, spirometry, audiometry. We've got connections with some occupational health service providers here who are very happy to support the students. And you need to see the equipment themselves. Those of you who were here If you remember, we went to Sharjah University where Dr. Hafiz used to work, and he talked about the occupational hygiene, and he got all the measuring equipment and instruments which are used, which you are likely to find in some of those stations in the exams. For the MFOM candidates, they would be practical sessions on, the critical appraisals, the clinical aspects of the exam, the station themselves, and they would be a mock exam for each individual. They'll go through the stations, and and this will give everyone an idea where they are, within their preparation for the course. I don't know how it does this, Sadir. Right, I think that is it. Let me find the other bit on the actual course dates, and hold on. Let me stop sharing stop sharing and get this up, and I will share the. Okay. Hold on. Let me share. I don't want to share this one. Okay. Let me close this one completely and go to share again. Adil, I can't share my course syllabus for a reason. It does not want to let me.
Can you send it to me and I'll try to share it?
Okay, you should have it, but let me just let me open it and go through it myself. Okay, let me stop sharing the screen. Because there are too many people on my screen. Okay. Here we are. It has decided to come up. Okay. Right. So this is the structure of what we're hoping to do. You can see we really are where quite near. So it's the 15th of August is the first one, and this would be the initial Saturday. That would be a whole day from 9 o'clock until 5, dedicated to foundation of occupational medicine. These are the topics that are going to be discussed and looked at. The workshop, the Saturday following, after 2 weeks, would be on fitness for work, recognizing occupational diseases, medical ethics, sickness absence management, rehabilitation, return to work, and disability assessment. We go for September. We've got, the physical hazards, the noise, vibration, radiation, compressed air, commercial diving, temperature and work, light and vision, and the chemical hazards, the principles of toxicology and occupational toxicology. October would be the actual solid occupational diseases, the respiratory, lung diseases, occupational lung diseases, the occupational dermatosis, the musculoskeletal problems related to work, occupational cancer, occupational infections, and mental health at work. So in October, the first part, the whole of October is dedicated to epidemiology. So the first one is epidemiology and advanced statistics. And the second part would be critical appraisal and advanced research methodology. And this would help in report writing, as well as for those of you who would prefer to do, to go further and do an academic degree as a diploma or an MSc degree in occupational medicine. November, there would be the first Saturday would be health and work, management, provision and management of occupational health services, clinical governance, clinical audit, ergonomics, shift work and circadian rhythm, health promotion, and work and the environment. And the Saturday, a whole Saturday would be dedicated to a workshop on the portfolio. In December, we got the 3 days, as I detailed earlier, the workplace visits. And I'm really pleased, Mu'tasim, just before we started, told me one of the very senior occupational physicians, a past president of the Irish Faculty of Occupational Medicine, has agreed to be part of the 3 days course in Abu Dhabi. So there would be workplace visit, practical procedures, as I said, familiarization with the occupational hygienes, presentations, revision, all the exam papers, and critical appraisal. The end of December, we will do the aviation medicine, work in the oil and gas industry, the agriculture sector, the hazards and risks and pesticides. This will all be concentrated about what actually, what you do as an occupational physician, as well as what are the things that are likely to come in exams in these things, and the healthcare, health hazards in the healthcare work. So you can see this is a very, very ambitious, program for the course. I really am very sorry. It is very, very, very tight, really tight. It is huge, and it requires a lot of work from your side, a lot of work. And let me come out of that. I'll stop sharing the screen. Yep, and that is it, Hadir. Thank you very much. I think I have, hope I have explained as much about the course as possible. Hadir, are you there? I think Hadir has got a problem. Hadir is in Kigali, and it is the last Saturday of the month. Oh, you're back. Good.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed.
I was going to say unkind things about you, but you're back. So there.
No. Thank you. I'm having some technical issues with my internet. It's not stable at the moment. So thank you very much. Dr. Omar and Dr. Mu'tazim basically covered all the basics, and you can see this is a very intense program. Most of the work will be done by you guys. A lot of reading, a lot of preparations, and the Saturdays will be interactive sessions. It won't be lectures, just sitting and having information from one side, but it will be based on the work you did during the weeks before. And again, some of you will be able to take the exam next January, but some will be not ready to take the exam until the year after. So it's also a good idea to start the preparations early. This course is also for you if you'll be interested in taking the exam next year, and you can start preparing for it a little bit earlier. I can see some of the questions started to come in. We will have ample time to answer your questions. This webinar is 2 hours. And now Mr. Khalid will be with us and will give us more information about practical points about registration, how to use the platform for Mustaqbal Center, our partner in this course. Ustaz Khalid, over to you.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أنا خالد الياس، مركز المستقبل للتدريب الصحي، مقرنا المدينة المنورة. إن شاء الله نكون شركاء للنجاح في برنامجكم ده. أولا أشكر العلماء دكتور عمر، دكتور مغطسي، دكتورة هدير، وأشكر الجميع الحضور على الاهتمام بهذا البرنامج الهام جدا. طيب، العلماء تحدثوا عن الأشياء العلمية والفنية، وأنا حتحدث عن الأشياء الإدارية والمالية. حيكون البرنامج الإداري كالتالي: حيكون في منصة الرئيسية اللي حيبث منها هذا البرنامج طول المدة كلها، هو منصة مركز المستقبل للمدينة المنورة. هذه المنصة الرئيسية حيتم فيها تسجيل، حيتم فيها
Khalid, Khalid, do you want to speak in English or do you want
لا أنا هستمر بالعربي. بعدين بعد ما أخلص ممكن الدكتورة هدير تقدم ملخص بسيط.
Excellent.
تمام؟
اوكي.
أنا شايف الغالبية الوجود عربي، يعني نحن عشان الأمور تكون واضحة. طيب، نحن زي ما تفضلوا الدكاترة إنهم قدموا لكم أمام البرنامج والقيمة بتاعته العلمية. يعني يقول إحنا هنتكلم عن الشؤون الإدارية والشؤون المالية. فزي ما قلنا إحنا قبل شوية، نحن مستقبل شركاء النجاح، وإن شاء الله حيكون الموضوع ده حيتم عن طريق المنصة الرئيسية تبعنا. نوزع بعدين لكل واحد موجودين بعد ما ينتهي البرنامج الرابط بتاع التسجيل أو الرابط بتاع أو الموقع بتاعنا نحن الويب سايت، بحيث إنه أول حاجة يتعرف على مركز المستقبل. طيب، عشان الأمور تكون واضحة إن شاء الله بعد ما ينتهي البرنامج ده نحن اتفقنا على أساس إنه حيكون في بالنسبة لموضوع الأدوار المالية، خلاص التسجيل واضح حيكون الطريقة بتاعته كيف. حنقدر نرسل الرابط لكل واحد عمل التسجيل المبدئي من عنده من الأول immediately. احنا بعد ما نخلص من الكلام هذا حنرسل الرابط للجميع. المقترح الثاني الموجود اللي هو موضوع الامور الماليه، سداد الامور الماليه. الامور الماليه التكلفه كانت عاليه جدا صراحه، ودكتور عمر والاخوان راعوا ظروف، لأن الغالبيه الموجودين كلهم سودانيين، راعوا ظروف الحرب والاشياء هذه، فتخفض المبلغ من 2000 دولار ل 1750 دولار. طيب كيف حتدفع هذه المبالغ؟ تدفع عن طريق اول حاجه في التسجيل المبدئي، حتدفع 100 دولار، ده بسموه هامش تسجيل التسجيل المبدئي. immediately حيتم من الان بعد ما يخلص البرنامج ده من بكره. اي واحد عنده الرغبه حيسجل اسمه وحيدفع 100 دولار. ال 100 دولار دي غير مسترجعه ومضافه للشخص الواصل البرنامج، ده بسموها هامش تسجيل. تمام؟ معلش انا بتكلم بشفافيه شوي عشان ما الموضوع يكون واضح للكل يعني. طيب المرحله الثانيه اقترحوا برضو الاخوان الزملاء انه يتم دفع 50% من المبلغ في خلال الشهرين الاولانيين بعد التسجيل المبدئي وضمان التسجيل المبدئي. طيب عشان الامور تكون ماشيه بصوره صحيحه وكذا، هيتم ان شاء الله بعد ما ينتهي البرنامج ده مباشره، هتتكلف اختنا الدكتوره هدير بعمل جروب عن طريق الواتساب، هيتم التسجيل مباشره مبدئيا. اي واحد عنده الرغبه في البرنامج ده هيبدا يسجل عن طريق الواتساب التسجيل المبدئي عشان نحصر الاعداد الموجوده، لانه البرنامج ده محصور بعدد معين، افتكر في 30 ممارس او 30 طبيب، المفروض يكون على الاقل ده الحد الادنى عشان البرنامج ياخذ وقته ويستمر. فمعليش انا اتكلم شويه بشفافيه شويه، لكن ان شاء الله الامور توضح اكثر بعد ما نحن تتكون المجموعه بتاعت الواتساب ان شاء الله، ويكون في تساؤلات موجوده تتم طوالي مباشره عن طريق الواتساب يشاركوا فيه الجميع باذن الله تعالى. فده التصور العام بتاع الشغل بتاع البرنامج ان شاء الله حيكون كيف من الناحيه الاداريه ومن الناحيه الماليه ومن الناحيه بتاعه رابط البرنامج او رابط المنصه الرئيسيه اللي حيتم فيها البرنامج. طيب المنصه دي برضه حيكون في برامج طبعا مسجله في ورك شوب، وفي الدكاتره حيجوكم طبعا برامج على انه تحاولوا انتم تسددوها وكذا. ففي برامج مسجله، في اشياء مسجله بتعطى للرابط لكل انسان مسجل اوريدي هو، سواء كان انت محاضرات موجوده او كانت فيديوهات او كذا، حتتم برضه عن طريق المنصه وتوزيعها عن طريق الدكاتره الموجودين. فانا للمره الثانيه اشكر الجميع واشكر الحضور، وان شاء الله نتمنى لكم التوفيق، وانا افتكر هذا برنامج هام جدا، وان شاء الله نتمنى لكم النجاح، ونحن ان شاء الله حنكون شركاء نجاح معكم باذن الله تعالى، ولكم كل التقدير.
شكرا أستاذ خالد، شكرا جزيلا. Now I'm going to translate the main points that Mr. Khaled mentioned. Mr. Khaled is our partner from Future Health Training Center in Medina al-Munawwara, and he spoke about the platform that will be used for the course delivery and also for the registration. The registration fees are 1,750 USD. For the total time of 6 months. 50% of this will be paid in the next 2 months. And we're planning to have a WhatsApp group, a lot of for who are interested to join the course. A lot of practical information will be shared within this group. 100 USD if someone is interested in joining will be the first payment. You will add to it if you are going to register for the whole course. If for any reason you're not willing to continue, the USD unfortunately will be a registration fees, and it won't be refunded. Also, the platform has the lectures, the materials, and the videos and everything. So it's like a one-stop shop. You do everything through this platform. And as Mr. Khalid said, all of the information, if you're willing to join the WhatsApp group, will be shared there. So this is basically it, and this is the end of all the information that you need about the exam, about the course and the course structure. I can see a lot of questions and a lot of hands. No hands. So Dr. Omar, if you can read the questions, I cannot, I have some technical problem. I guess I'm gonna leave and resign. Thank you very much.
Okay, let me see if I can do this. Let me put my screen up and see the questions and pose them to whoever can answer them. Right. Hadir, I haven't got any messages on my system for a reason. Hadir? Hadir disappeared. Okay, Rafa is there, Dr. Fahid. I'm writing us for when you upload the presentation materials. Yes, we will do this. Someone wanted the presentation material. We will ask question at the end. Are you going to share the recording of these sessions for those who joined late? Yes, we will. I think that was answered. I think these are all the questions. Yes, Shihab, you can unmute. Shihab, you've put your hand up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello, everybody, and good evening. And I'm very proud to be part of this session here. I just have inquiry about what you mentioned about uh, visiting Abu Dhabi. I think I didn't understand it through the lecture. You mean we have to attend for the site physically because some of us had commitment for work outside UAE, maybe we cannot do this. So if you just clarify it for me, thank you very much.
Yes, this is a face-to-face one. We will encourage all the participants to actually, I think we have penciled the first 3 days of December in Abu Dhabi, the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th of December as the days for this intensive course. And we really encourage people to be here because I know, Shahab, I think we've got, the whole of August, September, October, and November, 4 months. If you are able to get, 3 days or arrange to travel to here, I know it is going to be an extra expense. People are not going to pay any extra money for the actual, attendance or the course itself at all. If you are not in Abu Dhabi, you will pay for your tickets and accommodation, but everything else will be part of the actual course, if you see what I mean. But this would be physical workplace visits, and the instruments would be physically there. They would be role players because the MFOM exam is you're going to see either real patients in the hospital or role players in the hospital. So we will get people to say, for example, someone will sit in a station with a hand problem, and you do that very simple thing, examine the hand of this individual, or he will tell you a story, and then the examiner will ask you questions about it. So you need to be physically here, Shihab. And Abu Dhabi would be a very nice place to be in December. The temperature today, traveling from Al Ain to Haya, was around 49 degrees. It would probably be in the mid-20s or less there. Right, I've got a Zoom user here. So please unmute and ask your question.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Just another question regarding the attendance.
Can you please identify yourself, because your name is Zoom user.
Sorry. My name is Gasim Bakhit. I want also another clarification, because some candidates may not be able to attend that one because of what Dr. Shihab mentioned, or for a reason or another. So probably, is there any possibility for the Goiha and Al-Mustaqbal to arrange like video meeting, video conference meeting or something for the people who are not able to attend that event?
I think, thank you very much, Gasim. Let us see who can and who cannot attend. I see absolutely no problem. The one problem would be the actual workplace visit. It is very, it's not going to be easy to actually video that and do it, but yeah, we will look at it. We hope everyone would be able to attend. We really hope that they will. Inas, please unmute. Dr. Inas, you are muted. Okay. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
We can indeed, yes. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. I want just to confirm that you mentioned there is in September, October, and December. There is a specific dates for each month, or it's just as per what preference of the one who will come?
No, there are, if you've seen my slides, which I struggle to put up, every month has specific dates. And we, unless obviously the whole group decide Saturday is not the best day, Friday, we will think about that. It would be difficult because both Muhammad and Mu'tasim practice in Ireland, and Friday is a normal working day. So it is either Saturday or Sunday. But again, that is not, set in a stone. We can always talk about it. If the whole group wanted a Sunday or a different date, we will look at it. But no, it is not just haphazardly. You will receive the details of each day from next month.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
Any further questions?
I have seen two questions here, Dr. Omar, if you allow me
to
read
please do. Yes, please do, Mu'tasim,
okay.
and answer them.
There is a question here about recapping the eligibility requirement for both the LFOM and MFOM. Okay, for the LFOM, you need to be a physician, number one. Number two, you need to be registered with a authority, like a medical council in Saudi Arabia, in Sudan, in Ghana, UAE, Qatar, anywhere, okay? So you need to be a medical practitioner with approved or recognized qualifications, and you need to have at least 2 years after your graduation, 2 years of work experience. The approval of the eligibility criteria is not up to us, it is up to the RCBI. As I mentioned in my presentation, the RCBI, you will submit your copy from your credentials, your certificate, and everything, and then it need to be attested either by Garda, which is a police in Ireland, or commissioner for oath, محامي أو موثق العقود. And there is a certain criteria. We'll share this document for you. Then they will approve it. So for the LFOM, you need to be a medical doctor, registered, and 2 years of experience. However, for the MFOM, you need 4 years. So you need, according to the regulations of 2023, you need to be a medical doctor, recognized medical certificate, registered with authority, and you need to have 2 years after the graduation and 2 years experience in occupational medicine. They don't expect anyone without experience in occupational medicine to walk in for the exam. You might present your experience either in a hospital or in a primary healthcare setting or in industrial occupational medicine. So these are the requirements. So that was the question about the eligibility requirement. There was a second question about the last exam for the LFOM. Is it from home or Dublin? I think you mean the Viva. All LFOM exams are remotely. You don't have to come to Dublin for LFOM. You can do everything where you are. You can do the written, the MCQs online. You can submit your portfolio online, and you can do the Viva online. So to answer the question, you don't have to come to Dublin, all from home. Thank you.
Thank you, Mu'tasim. Any other questions or queries? Yes, Ahmed. Please. Yeah.
Thank you for the content of the materials. My question is, if there is a separate materials and the course content and the sessions for those who are applying for MFOM, or there will be all materials and the contents for both group?
As I said, the course is really very intensive and very wide. So the presentations, the actual course materials will cover both syllabus, and it will be for both. Within that, we will highlight what is important for MFOM, if you see what I mean. So we're not going, for example, if you talk about, for example, noise or vibration, you know, we're going to give a lot of information on the noise, right from the, you know, the physical characteristics, you know, to audiometry, to health surveillance, to absolutely everything. So as I said earlier, we really want people to know about these things, because there is very little practice of occupational health where we are. Mazen? Mazen, you're mute. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Omar. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thanks, Mazen.
Yes, Doctor. So, Doctor, I have a question regarding the presentations on Saturdays. Are they going to be recorded just in case we couldn't attend them live?
Yes, they will. They will all be recorded, and they will all be delivered to you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
I see Dr. Muhammad Musa is there, and he is hiding in the middle of the candidates. Muhammad. Muhammad, can you unmute yourself? Yeah, there you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Omar. Thank you, all of you, for good presentation. Sorry about coming late. This is just I mistake the time. You know, I thought it's 7 evening by our here until Muhtasim he called me. in general, the question before one of the candidates he asked, yes, there is a two component of the LFOM, and both of them is remote invigilation. That's remotely done for Viva and 100 questions of single best answer, SPA. And also the first component of the MFOM, the written examination, also it is 100 question, also remotely, remote invigilations. And if they want to look to this, all the steps of the remote invigilation, you can go to something called information and resources in the faculty, information and resources. They will give you detail what is the meaning of remote invigilation. I think this is all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. Thank you. Harir is having technical problems in Kigali. Yes, Khalid?
Yeah. Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you so much. This was a very nice initiative, and I think a lot of us will join. I just want to ask, will the faculty be upset if a student or a candidate choose to attend some of the sessions, not all of them? Would that be okay according to the needs?
Obviously, I mean, we will encourage people to attend absolutely every single talk because genuinely speaking, if you stay at home and read all the books, including Hunters, you're not going to get anything close to what you get from the tutorials. And I think some of the people who are here from previous experience, Abu Bakr, Nazar, Muhammad himself would testify to that. So it really is important you attend everything. But we know, we understand very well that people may not be able to attend every single session, you know, where commitments, family commitments, whatever. As we said earlier, the sessions will be available for people who are, you know, who are unable to attend. And as I said, it is not just the sessions. The most important part of this is you're going to be, or people are going to be within tutor groups. So you're going to have a tutor. You can directly speak with your tutor. If you missed something, if you've got questions or whatever, you can access the tutor and see how you you know, what you missed does not really impact you know, your overall participation in the course.
Omar, if you want me to just add something to what you said, I just share my experience in the last 4 or 5 years. The experience from the examiner. They all the time they are commenting that the people coming from overseas, they have problem in starting and conducting the exam. They should be oriented first, and this delay, and they're wasting the 10 minutes example in the clinical exam. And because of this, I think you are insisting the people to attend all the courses and all the practice which will going to be done in the futures in this course.
Now, can I add something, Dr. Omar, to what Muhammad just highlighted?
Yeah, please do.
I think from previous exams and the analysis of the results, always candidates from overseas, they are not reflecting real results of their knowledge. We have good doctors in the Middle East, very well qualified doctors like Dr. Khalid, he just mentioned. So they're very good doctors, but the lack of the practice of occupational medicine itself puts them in this position. So that's why such practical workshops, very important, I believe. So they need it because you really need to know the component of the exam and what is expected from you in each station. So you need to know that some of the candidates, I believe, they just walked in the exam without real rehearsal. So that's why the result is not as they expect. So I think having a such workshop is very important. To add to what Khalid asked, you can talk one-to-one, Khalid, to your tutor about your needs, and then they will be more than happy to fill the needs of each candidate as we go. I know some candidates have areas of strength. Some have public health background. They're good in critical appraisal and epidemiology and biostatistics, but they might need more clinical practice. And some GBs are good in clinical practice, but they need more critical appraisal. So, and vice versa. So each component, each candidate might need some areas of strengths. Thank you.
Right. Any more questions? If not, I think we will do some practical stuff. Khalid will share with you, the address of the platform. Dr. Hadir, when we managed to find her, she's got an application form. As I said, unfortunately, and I'm really sorry. It is very important. If we say to you, no, unfortunately, you're not going to be in the first cohort, this does not mean we're saying to you, we pushing you away. As I said, because we really want to give people, really full, close attention. And, if we admit all the people, the 80 people or so, it would be very difficult for us to do that. So we will share, Hadir will share an application form with you. Dr. Khalid will put the platform. I see Shihab has got his hand up again.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting you.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah, I remember from the last presentation, you in the pathway for the specialty, you mentioned that you have to have like 2 years of occupational medicine supervision to start to do the MFOM. This is what I recall it right now. So about your course right now, so I can go directly to exam or have to go for occupational medicine job first or experience like attachment. Like myself now, currently I'm working as a occupational general physician, but I need just clear vision in this area to have.
Where are you based, Shihab?
Right now I'm working with my clinic in Sabiq in Saudi Arabia, in Yanbu.
Okay, all right, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I think one of the things Muhtasim said earlier, for the membership, you have to have 2 years experience of occupational health, and they're very, or working in an occupational health clinic or setup. If you are working in an occupational health clinic or setup, for example, and this is again part of it, if we've got 30 people, we've got colleagues in Africa where there's absolutely no occupational health services. So we're going to work with them on how we actually, within their practice, we incorporate some occupational health work, and we give them some supervision through the tutoring itself, through the work, so that they actually are doing some occupational health work. Some colleagues here, for example, in the UAE, we've got connections with lots of places in the UAE, and they would be happy to give people, either work some days or do clinical attachment within their occupational health facilities, so that you actually fulfill the requirements. But again, Shihab, if we look, for example, if you let us assume you would like to apply for the membership, for example, now, and we look at your application form, And we say that you've been working for this occupational, you're doing occupational health for only 3 months or whatever. We probably say to you, right, Shihab, you are in a really good place. You would make the most of where you are working with, just deferring your exams until next year, for example. Okay, so you will have more experience doing that, and then you will be working on the theoretical aspect. Muaz, very nice to see you. Please unmute yourself and speak.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Omar. Good evening, Dr. Mu'tasim, Dr. Musa. This is a really great initiative. I hope it was before, I don't want to say before 10 years when we do our LFOM for the first time, but it's a really great initiative. It will be with great help for the beginner. I just want to add for as Dr. Mu'tasim and Dr. Khalid, he was curious. I clearly understand where he came from. From quick scanning for the attendees here, I can recognize there is a lot of my colleagues who already passed the LFOM, and a lot of them are also passed the diploma last year. And my suggestion will be, as you mentioned, Dr. Omar, there will be 3 groups, or for the student will be distributed for 3 groups. I highly recommend if this distribution will be based on beginner and LFOM and MFOM during the course itself. So it will be, we'll get the maximum benefit for that. This is my suggestion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's very helpful, Maaz, as always. Thank you so much. Right.
Can I ask something, Dr. Omar?
Yes, Mu'tasim.
Yeah, I think also candidates, you need to be realistic. You need to be realistic. There is a lot of work need to be done. So you might have knowledge in some areas, but might be some gap in other areas. So you need to know your circumstances very well. You need to know what is the quality time you will be allocating for this. At the end of the day, registering for the course by itself will not make you pass the exam. It is your work. It is your work. Don't expect to be fed by a spoon. That just registering the course, paying the money, that you're okay, guarantee. No, you have to really spend quality time, a lot of efforts, work hard to get these qualifications. So you know your circumstances also very well, and be realistic if you are already able to go for this group in January, or you want to attempt the next year.
Thank you, Mu'tasim. You probably have, I've all seen what I've said earlier. The teacher is coming out of Mu'tasim. Yeah. Excellent. Well, if there are no further questions, I think that would be great. I'll make sure that when Hadir is online again, she submits the recording to every single one of you, so that you, especially those who have not joined from the very beginning, would have seen everything. And you would see, our timetable starts in August. This really is not pressure at all. I am, lots of people here, you probably know Muhammad and Mu'tasim and me, we really need to get starting as early as we can. So,
and just I want to add something, Dr. Omar. I think the opening day of registration starts in September and close in November. Something.
Yeah, I think it is. Yes, usually it is September to November registration.
Yes.
But again, this would be something that we would advise people about, when they come into their specific tutor groups. All right, chaps. Well, have a very pleasant evening.
There is another question came now, I think.
Yeah, please read it and answer it, Muhammad.
No, thank you, doctors. No, thank you. I thought this is, and I'm looking to the chat. No, there's no question. Proceed on. Go on, Omar.
Okay, if there is no more questions and no further comments, I would bring this to a close. And I would really thank you all very, very much for making the time and being here. As I said, I'm absolutely delighted to see so many names of people I know and highly respect are here, and we really are here to support you. Thank you all very much. Have a very pleasant evening and a really, really good weekend, and we will be talking more seriously in the coming few days. Thank you all very much.